Yo guys, welcome back to this next episode. In this episode I would like to show you a reload animation. So every time we use the pistol for reload, or we are using the revolver in this case, so depending on what weapon you have. Also later when we implement the shotgun, we are going to have a shotgun reload animation. So I've already created an anim montage. I mean, you know how to convert an animation sequence into an anim montage. This is pretty like standard stuff. But I need to show you how to integrate this anim montage and make it look good. Also, we want to play this animation and we can move at the same time, so we can still run at the same time. This is why we need a layered blend per bone. This means only the montage, in this case, the reload montage, or maybe like you have a pickup animation, or maybe you have like a unlock door. So all those interactive animations, you simply convert to an anim montage. But then we are using the layered blend per bone in our animation blueprint, which means only the upper body is going to be affected, which is awesome because then you still can run, so you still can jog and walk while reloading your weapon. This is quite awesome. And this is why we need to set up this layered blend per bone. And also I have all those reload sounds properly, like they are perfectly synced, like perfectly according to the animation. This is what you need to do as well, because every reload animation or every animation is different and has different interactions on different frames. So this is why you need separate anim notifies. So we need to create separate anim notifies. And so basically just removing the magazine is one sound. It's just one short sound, which is remove magazine sound. Then the next would be, for example, grabbing the magazine. And then the last, like the next anim notify would be, okay, when is my character adding the magazine back into the pistol? So stuff like that. So we need for every single sound we are going to use an anim notify. So then all your sounds are perfectly synced according to your animation montage. And this is why I also strongly advise you to not purchase any garbage audio effects, gun effects packages, because you still need to edit them anyway. So it's much easier to go on YouTube and search for pistol reload, pistol sounds, revolver, shotgun. You have all that stuff, and most of the stuff is even royalty free, so it's just free to use. And you can just download it and then you put it into Reaper or Ableton if you have Ableton. Reaper is free, and then you can just chop up these sounds into single chops, and then you can just import those single chopped up sounds for this anim notifies. So let's start. What I did is I created in this case, 3 anim notifies. So when you go into your folder called anim notifies, we already have the footsteps notify and we already have the shoot notify, which is the shooting sound and also our footsteps. So we already did that. You know how to set up an anim notify. It's quite simple. But make a reload folder. Inside this reload folder, make all your weapons, like weapon folders you have. In this case, I have pistol and revolver as of now. For the pistol, I have 3 anim notifies. I will show you now. So a notify always have this override function here, which is called received notify. So make sure you click on override again, like you did before, and you get the received notify. In this received notify, like we always do, we get the owner from the mesh, so get owner, and from the owner we cast to the BPRE character, because we want to play the sound at location. So we don't just want to play the sound. In this case, I also want to have the sound at location. And this is why I want to get this actor location here. Okay, so this is my first sound. So I make sure that for every sound you import, you also make a cue, a sound cue. You need to make a sound cue in order to have this actor location, to have this location, sound at location, to work properly. So this is just removing the magazines. This is just one chopped up sound. Okay, removing the magazine. In this case, sorry, this notify is add magazine, sorry. So this is just putting the magazine back into the pistol. Then I have this one, which is the slide. This is basically like the last sound in our animation montage, just having the slide to reload the weapon. Okay, but it's all the same. The only thing what is about to change is the sound itself, but it's always just the same logic here. Okay, and then I have this one. So I have 3 different anim notifies with 3 different sounds, and this one is remove magazine. Okay, so now you have those chopped up sounds. If you're not really sure, like what kind of sounds should I get for my reload function, it's pretty easy. When you go inside your character, you go into your animations, and when you have your reload animations, so you just import them, of course. So for pistol, I have this reload animation here. And then you can just pause this animation, and then you can just drag this thing here, and you can see when you watch your animation, what is she doing, or what is your player basically doing. So in this case, at this spot here, she is like removing the magazine. Okay? So this is where I want to have this sound like removing the magazine. And then she's grabbing the magazine, there's no sound in my case. And then she's like, boom, adding the magazine. Okay, this would be the second notify. And then she's like, okay, okay, she's having this slide. So I have 3 mandatory sounds during my reload animation. So make sure that you get your animation, you just analyze your animation, and you're saying to yourself like, okay, this spot I need this sound, at this spot I want to have this sound, and at this spot I need this sound, okay? And then just find these sounds and just chop them up into single audio files. When you did that, you just create an montage, of course. I put all my montages into the montages folder. So this is my animation sequence just converted to a montage. And now, right now you can see I have one channel. You just need one channel, so I can just delete this one. Remove notify track. So you just need one channel. And then I have these notifies I just showed you before. Let me get this pause. Okay. And I just place them, just like we did with our footsteps. So just right click and then add notify, and then you have your notify here. They will be visible. And then you can, then I know, okay, this is my notify remove magazine. And then it's like, boom, add magazine here. And then, boom, this is the slide. So you get the idea, okay? It's not that hard. It's just the same like we did in our footsteps. And this is the reason why we are working with notifies, because we can trigger this in our at a specific point during the animation. Okay, good. So this is all you need to set up. Okay, create your montage, create all the sounds for each single sound. You have it has its own anim notify. Okay. But now, in order to implement this properly, we need to go into our animation blueprint. So inside RE character, animation blueprint. Here. This is what you need to build. Let me just delete that. Also, I want to delete this boolean because I don't need it as of now. Play montage. I was just experimenting and then I realized I don't need that. So why just keep logic when we are not using this? AC inventory, I just keep this for now. Maybe I will delete this later. So, but yeah, you don't need to add anything here. It's fine. Okay, so just leave it like it is. But when you go into your anim graph, your anim graph is basically looking like this as of now. This and this. This is your anim graph. This is your anim graph. But what you do is you disconnect. Oh, sorry, and you have this default slot in between. This one here. You have this because otherwise you cannot play montages. Okay, the default slot is always. So what is the default slot? The default slot is like, okay, this one you have an animation, and I'm looking for this specific slot. Oh, I'm finding this slot. This is an animation. A montage, okay, and then she's triggering this specific montage with this name. And every montage has default slot or like default in its name. So by default, I know it sounds silly, but it's always the default name. So this is why we don't change anything. Good. When you have like a different name in your montage, you can like also rename or add another slot. Then of course you have to use this one with the proper name to hit this specific part of your montage. Okay. So, but what you need to do, you just get this one, and then from there you drag, and you might have guessed it, you create, no, it was not create, use cache, okay, it is new save, so you type in just new save, cache pose. When you did that, you will get a new node. This new node is going to have a number, like a longer number. Just click on this, what you have just created, so it would be something like this, and just rename this. I called mine locomotion cache, okay? So when you just go from here and you say like, okay, new save cache pose, this would be the one, and you just rename this to locomotion cache, okay? And then what you're going to do is you get your locomotion, you put it on top, you put it anywhere here because we don't need it, and then you just connect it, because now our locomotion has now a cache. It's saving us a little bit of performance, okay? It's not really significant, I believe, but when you have a lot of like different like booleans and different like stuff going on here, then you have still like a performance boost, call it like this, okay? So this is what you're going to do. You just connect them both and you just leave them aside, okay? And then let me just reconnect this. Now I explain to you how to build this. Then after this, you've created your locomotion cache or like new cache pose, okay? After this, you want to use this cache, so you can just use cache pose locomotion cache. So now this one, you're basically using this as a cache pose, and it has an output. So I already did that. Just get 2, one here and one below. The second one has the default slot. And then you create a layered blend per bone. You create this node, this one. You don't need to change the blend weights, one is fine. This one, the first one without the default slot, is the base pose. The second one is also the cache, but the default slot, because this second pose we have here will always be our pose when we use an animation. So the animation, the montage. The montage, every time we want to play an anim montage in our player BP, every time a montage gets triggered, this one is affected. So this second channel here is affected. This means as soon as we play this anim montage, he's starting to blend. He's starting to blend both. And if not, when there's no slot active, so no montage is being played, of course, the base pose is still unchanged. It's still our animation blueprint. Like, it's still our blend space like we have usually, like we had before, okay? So nothing's changed. It's only about to change when we trigger this montage, like any montage we have. And then they blend together. And now you're asking yourself, like, what is this? They blend. So what is blend? It's still the same character, so what do you mean? It's pretty simple. When you click on this layer blend per bone, we can define, when you look at this character here on the left, we can define what do we want to blend and what not. So this means when we have a reload montage, so you have already created your reload montage, or a pickup montage, or a healing montage, or unlock door, open door montage, anything interactive. The whole montage is getting played by the whole body, right? And this is not really nice because we still maybe want to move, we still want to run. So the legs should not be affected. And also, even if you just have a montage being played, the whole body, so your idle is also going to change. So this looks weird. This looks really weird because, like, even if you're just standing, like the legs are going to move to the position of the new montage, and it's not looking natural and not really professional. So and this is the good thing. When you click on this layer blend per bone, and we only want to have the upper body affected, so this is what this thing does. It's just affecting a certain part of our body. We need to usually use the bone called spine_02. You can also use spine01 or spine03. It's a matter of taste. It depends on your montage. But spine_02 usually works best. And make sure that this one is typed correctly. If you're not sure about it, just open your skeletal mesh and search for it. Okay, so I can just go here, open up my player BP. Sorry, this is not what I wanted. I wanted to switch this one here. I go into the viewport. Okay, when I go into the viewport, I can just click on this folder, binocular here, and then just open her up. And then you can see, okay, where's the spine? So this one, the pelvis is basically like the root bone. So this is like the first major bone of our whole body after root. And then you have the spine, which is right above, right here. And then we have the spine 2, and then spine 3, and then we have spine 4. But usually spine_02 is good. So make sure you have its exact type. How do you call it? Type. You type it exactly like it is here. Otherwise, Unreal Engine is not going to find this branch. So how do you get there? You just open the layer setup, then you have this index, open this index, and then you have branch filter, open the branch filter, and then you click on the plus, and then you can just type in the bone name. This is all you need to do, okay? And then just connect this whole logic to your output pose. And this one here, you can just leave it aside, because we're using this one as a cache. And this is it. This is basically it. This is all you need to do. But now we want to decide when, you can just close this one. Now we need to decide when we want to play this stuff. It makes sense when we go into the inventory, and then we go into our widgets. And you might have guessed it, WB item menu, because we can here click on reload. Isn't this amazing? So this means, oh wait, I want to do something. Can't I just, sorry for that. I was just thinking maybe I can just use the inspect and drag it on the bottom. So maybe it's going to change our order when we make our buttons visible. For me, I don't like it if the inspect is always on top. I don't like that. So maybe it's going to change if we just change this order here. So let me just see this in a minute. But this is not the reason why I'm here. The reason is I wanted to show you how to play the reload animation. It makes sense when you go into your item menu, event graph, you have this on-clicked. In this case, we consider the reload button. And when is this going to make sense? When we want to have this sound. The sound is always when we click on bullets, revolver bullets or pistol bullets, and then we have the ability, depending on if our weapon is equipped or not. So our weapon is equipped, our pistol, we click on the pistol bullets, and then we can see, oh yes, our reload button is visible. And then we can reload because we have ammunition. The thing is, you have a play sound 2D here. So when we have this function, f pistol reload, cannot reload, branch, and when it's false, here there is a sound. So I removed this, okay? Just delete this sound. You don't need it anymore because, as you might remember, in the beginning of this episode, I told you we are using now sounds with specific enum notifies. So, when you have this play sound basically deleted here, so the branch and the hide inventory, so in between here it's disconnected, okay, there's nothing here. You create a montage and you just put this montage here, where the sound is, as well as the revolver bullets. There's also a sound 2D here. You just replace this, so after the branch I cannot reload. No, it's false, I can actually reload. So this means instead of getting an error sound, here we can reload. And this is where we want, so before hide and before show, we want to have this reload function. So then just, let me compile. So just open your AC inventory and create your weapon reload montage function. I called mine F montage pistol reload, and I have a separate animation, F montage revolver reload. So depending on what animations you have, maybe you would have just one reload animation, maybe you also have several, then create a function for each reload. So when you open that one up, so you just created this one here, and plus, and then F montage pistol reload or weapon reload. This is so easy. You just get from here a play enum montage. This is it. If you can't find it, sometimes it's pretty annoying, just disable context sensitive. You need play enum montage. So let me just select this one again. And then when you have this, get player character. Okay? So the target is always the player character. From here, you get your animation montage, the montage you created. And as I told you before, make sure that your montage, not the animation, the montage has, where is it? Curry character montages. Make sure that your montage has all those notifies implemented. So this is the sound I told you. I already showed you how to set up those notifies and put in your the proper sounds for your reload, and place all these single sounds. So okay, single sounds, or like chopped up sounds, and you chop them into small pieces, that you have them accordingly to your animation. This is why we drag this cursor here, or this how is it called? This stuff. So you can see, just like with the footprints, it's nothing else. It hasn't changed. It's the same stuff. Okay, so, and when you followed everything I just told you, with it, like the animation blueprint, how to set up the notifies with your sound, integrate the notifies into your anim montages, put the anim montage in a new function, and then this function, you integrate this one into the item menu here. And make sure the target here, of course, you get this by, you know this already, you always get your AC inventory functions by dragging out from your AC inventory, of course, okay? So yeah, this is the AC inventory. So we did create a macro, just in case, maybe like you're like, oh, you forgot, like, what is this? You always get the only player pawn, and then from there get component by class, and you select your inventory, AC inventory. And in this case, it's just a macro. I just put this one here, okay? In this case, I have just a macro because I'm saving space. But just in case, if you're wondering, like, how can I get those functions? How can I get data from my AC inventory into my item menu? It's so simple, okay? Owning player pawn, component by class, and boom, that's it. And then when you placed your montage function from your AC inventory accordingly, you're good to go. And now let me show you what you can do. You can now pick up bullets. Let's do this one. And now watch this. I can just reload. And at the same time, I can run. Or I don't need to. And look at the feet, they are not changing. Sorry, I need to maybe shoot first. See? They're not changing. And the same I have for the revolver. Let me equip this revolver. Then ammunition. So let me equip. Oh, it is already. And now watch the reload. Boom. That's it. Okay? And also, yes, and also I updated the sound here to a more realistic sound. Okay, that's pretty intense. And also, you can play around with this layered blend per bone. So I just realized, every time we aim, for example, so of course you have to implement this boolean in your animation blueprint, but every time we aim, you can see that our feet are completely shifting, right? So if you don't like this, I might also just use the layered blend per bone. So maybe let's just try. Maybe we're lucky and I can just implement this right away. If not, I will just do this when I have time. But let's just try while we're here. So then we have to decide, we have this is aiming, so every time we click on our right mouse button, we have our right mouse button pressed. We do know that aiming is true because we can see it here. Our is aiming from our character, so the boolean from our character is aiming is always connected to the is aiming which we created here. So we get this from our character and set this to our NMBP boolean. So we know that this one gets updated every single time. So what you can do basically is, I think then you need some kind of like, what was it? Blend poses by bool, I believe. So we can just play all this stuff. So the true pose is nothing has changed. This means nothing has changed. But in case, let's just try that. Maybe we are successful. But when we aim, maybe it's going to work. But when we aim, then let's just play. Let me just think for a bit. No, then we still have to blend, right? Then we still... This is really weird. Can I just... Yeah, sorry. Or is it maybe we need to check this before? Let me think. So when we are aiming, we also want to have this one being played. So the blend is being played. No, it's not. No, in this case, as for now, it's not going to work because we are using a blend. We are using a blend space. Okay. So when we go inside our locomotion, this one is not a montage. Okay. This is okay. This is just move. But when this is also when we aim, this one gets triggered. So this one is an animation blend space. Okay. So this is not really working. But we can also find a way with layered blend per bone to actually only use our upper body when we aim. We can do that, but I think I will just experiment with this and show you maybe in the future episodes, okay? So, but as of now, it's fine. I just wanted to tell you that also this one is possible. We can build logic that when we aim, our feet will not be affected. There is a way to do this. Good. And then there's another thing I would like to show you. You've already seen this. Our inventory changed. So I want to explain to you how you can get this like nice looking inventory. You just import, let me see. Okay, let me tell you like this. There's, for example, there's a program. I mean, if you're good at like creating icons and user interfaces, this is probably really easy for you. But if you're like not really good at that stuff, like for example, like myself, there's a good website called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, Canva. You can just register there with your Gmail account. And you can use a lot of stuff for free. So all that stuff I created is you can use all that stuff. So you can use you can create like a box with like round shapes. You can fill the box. You can make a border. You can also like have a color variation and stuff like that. So you can go crazy. And what I did, so I did create like some kind of an inventory UI with this program, which is not a program. It's an online editor. Okay. But what I also did when I created this, let me show you. UI, this one. So it's the PNG, so it is transparent, and this is what I basically did. You can also do this in Photoshop. Okay, this is not like a tutorial on how to exactly create UI. This is something separate, and if I just tell you in detail how to do this, we might gonna have 10 hours of video here. So this is pretty senseless, but. You can just imagine, like you do this in Photoshop or maybe in Canva, this online editor, sorry. Then you can just maybe like create a box. In this case, I created also like a border. You can also define the thickness, and then you can say like, okay, I want to have this filled from like black with like from black to gray, so it has like this tone here, this style. And then I was also just adding like another round border here, and I just implemented a snapshot of her, just on like so you can see, okay. It looks, I don't know, it looks more authentic and more interesting. And the reason why I have black space here is, it is because I want to add like this fine, this like Resident Evil, fine, caution, danger. So it is animated, and I already have this. I have all those animations. So this is also like in future episodes, I will also tell you how to implement like a media player. It's called media player. And then always we add this to viewport. Same like we do with our inventory. It's also just a widget blueprint. But it's a media player, a node, so we animate basically a media player, and then he's like completely rendering those animations. And those animations, by the way, are nothing else than just a row of EXR pictures, like EXR files, played just like an animation. So you have frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just an animation playing. So this is the reason, like, just in case you're wondering, like, how you set up these animations. Okay. Yeah. So how did I do this? So in order to get this, you can just get your character. This one, or let's do this one here. Let's do her or him. So you can just drag your character, your skeleton mesh inside the world, and then also what helps tremendously is you just get a shape. Like in this case, it's the cube. And let me just scale this one like so, maybe like a little thinner, and then like so, and maybe like this. And then you can just put it behind. And what you can do, you give this box a completely pitched black material. Okay. So what you can do is create a material just really quick, black, and just open that one up, and then you click here, make it black completely. Roughness, do 1, so it's not reflective. Let me see how it's going to look when it's completely reflective. I don't know, it's up to you. Let's do 0.5. I don't know, it's up to you. So you can just use this one, for example, and you can just, click on this, get your material, boom, and then you can just, okay, this is the reason why I want to have this not reflective, because this is just too strong, it's just too shiny. So do 1. I know now it's looking like rubber, but you don't have this annoying reflection. Good. And then you just position your camera like so. Maybe get a nice position. You can also press Ctrl L and then move your mouse to change the lighting if you want. Okay? So to have a nice lighting. And then you just make a snapshot. I was even just using the snipping tool, to be honest. But you can also just go here and get the high resolution screenshot and then just capture. And then you can just get this from Photoshop, just have like this square, make sure it's the same size on all axes. So X and Y, basically. You have this snapshot, and then you can just upload this also to Photoshop or Canva, and you can just implement this into your PNG file. Okay, so don't need that. And this is what I did with this picture, okay? So I was just getting this inside Photoshop, put my snapshot here, just cut this one, put it inside here, and also made like, I painted just a little bit of soft black, so it's smooth and not like completely square. And then I have like this, I try to make it look a little more interesting. And this is it, and you just export this into PNG, okay? So, but if you're like, I think you should not be a beginner on how to create simple images, which you are probably not. So I expect you to have already some kind of experience doing this. So Photoshop is nothing new, okay? But then when you did that, you can just go into the WB inventory here, widgets, WB inventory, and this is how you implement this picture. No, not item menu, sorry, in WB inventory. From here, you get an image, then click on this image, then you have this image. Make sure you put this into the canvas. When you drag this into the canvas, it should be down here. Just get it and drag it up, so it's not inside the border, but it's here, okay? Just make sure it matters. And then also make sure that the canvas, drag your canvas and drag it to 4K, okay? And also make sure that everything else here, so it's just the canvas, and then everything else is just drag it, and then until you reach 4K, and it snaps right into the 4K setting. And then when you did that, make sure that your transparent image is, in this case it doesn't matter. Let me just leave it like that. But what's important, because this one is transparent anyway, but what's important is like the blur you have. Maybe you just have the background blur or something like that. Make sure that the anchor here is center, then avatar anchor is as well center, and your border here is as well anchor center. Okay, so everything has the same anchor, and then you're good. Then you will be fine, because sometimes it happens that when you play the game and your like resolution changes, or in this case, I can just do something like this. And when your inventory is open, sometimes things shift, and then everything is out of place. And you can just avoid that just by doing what I told you. Okay, so if I just do this, you can see everything is steady, everything is nice. Nothing is shifting, the box is not shifting. So just make sure that the anchor points are all centered. And at the same time, it is on fill screen, for example. In my case, it's fill screen. Make sure you have this, and also that you drag this canvas to here to 4K, okay, and it snaps right into 4K. Good. And regarding the image, when you imported this image, I called mine avatar, okay? So when you click on this image, you create it and you drag it to this place here, you can now set up the image from here, okay? And then you get your UI, your user interface, your created image, in this case, this image, and then you can just scale it. So when you click on this avatar, you can just use this one here, and then you can just scale and move it according to your box you have, okay? So it's perfect. Good. Yeah, this is what I basically did, and this is it, okay? So yeah, thank you.